Hey guys and gals, Nary here from Drakewing Gaming. Some of you may on Twitter the Gaming Drag. Today I'm coming back at you another Let's Play episode of Violet Memoir, Lucas's Path. So I want to go ahead and let y'all know that I'm an affiliate of Green Man Gaming. Y'all probably pretty much know what that means by now. There's a link in the description. Y'all click that link, you get taken to the website, you get deals on all the latest and greatest games, and I get commission. Also, my lovely girlfriend Elle is an artist, and she's taking commissions. I've got her commission info in the description. So anyway, y'all, let's go ahead and jump right in, shall we? Alarm Shan, you are up, and let's go. Alright. Before I can enjoy it, though, we're sitting down at the table and he pulls away from me to sit across from me. I'm already missing the sensation of my pads sliding through his fur to his soft skin. Ooh, excuse me. I know we should be finding a way out, but after everything he just went through, I don't think a small break will cause too much of a problem. I know Lily would have wanted him to, and the others would understand, too. This is how we'd sit when she wanted to show me, when she'd help me with stuff. Curiosity bubbles in me, but I won't ever push him to tell me anything he isn't comfortable with. I wouldn't want to jeopardize the progress we've made. Do you remember anything specific you liked? His eyes widen and his ears stick straight up. The insides are a dark shade of pink. Whatever he just thought of must be really bad. No, I can't tell you about that. By now the blush has reached his face and is so potent it's peeking through his fur. It's only barely visible next to the black compared to how obvious it can be with my white fur. I'm almost jealous. But right now I'm giggling at Lucas's dramatic reaction. It must have been what he expected because he got a confused look on his face. You could tell me something else. It doesn't have to be that. Oh, well, she brings me a lot of books to read. I never really tried any before, but that's when I discovered my love for reading and learning. What was it about? The book? Yeah. Oh, it was about a group of travelers trying to save their kingdom from a nebulous dark force. I can't remember much about it now, but I adored it at the time. It's stupid how excited I got over it. A group of travelers trying to save their kingdom from a nebulous dark force. Is that a reference to In Case of Emergency? Actually, that kind of describes a hell of a lot of different properties. Yeah, this is kind of like a just standard kind of archetype. A group of travelers saving their kingdom, saving their town, saving their city from this strange, unknowable evil that permeates the land. Yeah. How old were you? I think 5 or 6. Wow, that's really young. Is it? I think it's the normal age for that kind of thing. I mean, yeah, my parents are making me read books, but it sounds like you really found your passion. I'm still looking for mine. It sounds like you got a lot of fond memories. I expect him to agree, but his expression falls, and he's got a sad look on his face. He begins to dig his fingers into the wood of the table, resisting the urge to pull his ears if I had to guess. He's not looking like he's going to act out, but something definitely brought his mood down. Was it something I said? What's wrong? Nothing's wrong. I'm just remembering some other bad stuff. I'm fine, it's nothing important. Seeing his tense hands and extended claws, I act without thinking and reach my hand over to rest on his right. He tenses up for a moment before relaxing. I expect him to turn his hand around and grab my own like before, but he only closes his eyes and breathes deeply. Feeling like I should do the same, I follow suit and shut my eyes, swallowed into the dark. The only thing I can sense now is the collective sound of our breathing and the feeling of Lucas's fur against my own. You're always the one. I almost jump at his words, and when I open my eyes, I can see that he's looking down again. It's nowhere near as extreme as before, but it looks like something is still bothering him. Am I doing something wrong? No, you're fine. It's me. I'll try to do better. You don't have... Please, I want to do better. I just have to try harder. He's staring at me with those stunning amber eyes, and they're burning in such strong, beautiful heat that I can't bring myself to push him any further. All right, I'll leave it alone. Thanks, you're a good friend. A really good friend. I hope we can stay like that. I haven't had one in a long time. You've got more than just me. You got R.A. and Lily and the other guys, too. That causes him to smile, but there's something off about the way he's acting. He's almost bashful. He's crossing his arms over his chest and he's looking away. I think I can even see some blush again. It's not the same. I feel more comfortable around you. He mentioned this before at his apartment. I never really got an answer as to why that is. Maybe I could ask now. I think I'm going to wash my face up a bit. I'm probably looking awful after all that fucking crying like I've done. I must have looked like such a child. Ugh. He gets up and strolls towards the sink in the corner of the room before I have a chance to respond, leaving me both stunned and on the verge of laughing. It might not be the best time to ask stuff like that anyway. Should focus on getting out of here now that Lucas seems to be doing better. Standing up and stretching as the sound of running water echoes throughout the room, I'm left to my own devices again. Curiosity about what's in the room begins to nip at the back of my mind. I walk over to the shelf and peek into the boxes. Each box is filled with a different kind of toy. These toys range from little construction vehicles to what looks like little fidget toys for keeping the hands busy. They're really keen on keeping the kids happy here. That's when I noticed something peeking over the top of the shelf. It's taller than me, and even on my tiptoes, my fingertips are barely able to brush it. After several attempts, I'm about to go get it. I'm about to get it. I'm about to get it to slip off the shelf a little more. From what I can see, it's a magazine of some sort. After grazing it with the tips of my claws, I managed to shuffle it enough to grip it between my fingertips. Okay. Gotcha! I was expecting some entertainment magazine or comic book for kids, but that's not what falls into my hands. It's a high school news pamphlet, complete with a group photo of the entire student body sitting in a large hall. Let me lower the music just a little bit, just in case. Just in case. A quick skim through shows that it's just letting parents in on the latest happenings at the place where kids are spending most of their time. It ranges from sports to arts to cooking, of all things. Checking the front again, I'm able to find which school this belongs to. A Rowland High School. I wonder if a kid of one of these nurses went there and they left us behind. Or more likely, one of the patients here is in that school and they're keeping tabs on him. Except there isn't a Rowland anywhere near Everwinter. I've lived here my whole life and there's no city or school within a 6-hour drive named Rowland. Regardless, it looks harmless. The last page is peculiar, however. It's featuring a wolf in a wheelchair with the caption, "Bullying leaves permanent scars." Jeez, that's a little insensitive. This poor kid is being used by the school to push their message. I hope he didn't get teased for this. Looking closer to the wolf, he looks so genuinely sad and there's something off about his nose. Maybe it's disfigured in some way. Regardless, this is in bad taste for the school to do this. What's that? Feeling my fur stand on end as I turn around and at a panicked tempo, letting out a choked yelp, Lucas looks just as shocked as I am before realizing what he did. Sorry, I didn't mean... But I cut him off with a laugh. My heart's still racing, but I'm more relieved that it's just Lucas than anything else. You're fine. It's just a school newsletter. It's not very interesting. Showing him the pamphlet, his eyebrows twitch a little when I'm reading it before pushing it back towards me. I went here. It was only for 1 year, but this was my high school. Oh? It was awful. The teachers didn't care and other students were awful. Not much more to say than that. Despite his nonchalant tone, his voice wobbles with more emotion than he's trying to show. This place is clearly a lot worse for him than he's letting on. I'm not feeling very interested in this pamphlet anymore, and for Lucas's sake, I decide to put it away. Leaning on my tippy toes, I push the magazine back onto its rightful place on the top of the shelf after only 2 attempts. Thankfully, Lucas doesn't comment on that. In fact, he looks glad that it's out of sight. All done! Do you want to stay any longer? He gives a firm shake of his head. It's stunning how fast he responds, considering he, for the most part, seemed like he enjoyed the nostalgia trip. Fuck no. I've had enough of this place. There should be an office nearby. At least there was at the clinic I went to. Maybe there's a hospital map in there. I didn't really think of looking for a map. It makes sense that there'd be some around the hospital to help patients and visitors. I hope I didn't pass any when I investigated where I woke up. I really wish I paid more attention when looking around. Let's check it out then. Check it out. Heading further down the hall, it feels even hotter than it did before. I can visibly see sweat beginning to drip off Lucas's nose, and I can't even imagine how bad this is for someone with that much fur. You doing okay? You look like you're about to drop dead. It catches him off guard. He looks genuinely horrified, staring at me with wide eyes and fur standing on edge. What? Oh, you're being... Never mind. He looks around with a bashful look on his face. He's gone back to a stern grimace, but resembles a pout more than anything intimidating. But yes, it's very hot. Probably not the best time to be wearing a suit and tie. As if I reminded him of it, we stop and reach up to undo his tie. He does so with little effort, his dexterous fingers doing something that I'm pretty sure would cause me minutes of suffering. After stuffing it into his pocket, he switches focus to the top buttons on his shirt, fastening them until the top of his shirt is hanging open. It's just a dress shirt, but you're right. I'm used to the heat. It's really humid where I grew up, but Everwinter's normally a lot cooler than this. Despite how serious the situation was and how inappropriate the timing, I end up staring at his chest. His fur there is just as red as the rest of his body, but it still draws my eye. I know he'd been topless after he walked out of the shower, but I tried to avoid looking at him then, but now I'm here, leering like a total creep. Trying to focus on literally anything else, I begin walking, and thankfully, Lucas doesn't hesitate to follow after me. This isn't the time or place for distractions. My attention turns to the hallway around us. It's still as cramped as ever, this time filled with an empty cart likely used for transporting food and other necessities. Next to it is an empty bed. Its crumpled sheets make me curious about just how long ago this place had been abandoned. They're covered in layers of dust, and who knows how many bugs have made their home here. But I can't get the way the top of Lucas's chest looked. There isn't even something unique or attractive about it, but I can't get the image out of my head. Well, I guess Lucas and his lean physique is appealing, but if he wanted to put effort into it, he could be a model. He's got a poise to him when he's not ripping his ears off. I can feel myself blushing when I look back to Lucas. He's got a confused look on his face, like he's totally unaware of what he's doing. He really lacks any shame when it comes to his body, doesn't he? I probably should have guessed that after last night. He's an enigma. Trying to get back on track. I look around to scout if there's anything I missed, but there's nothing significant. There's got to be a clue somewhere from where we need to go, but it can't just be one long corridor. It's mostly just a mixture of chairs and shelves littering the floor. They're always a little too close to each other to make walking comfortable. Not enough to get in our way, but enough to make me conscious about where my feet are stepping. The only thing that catches my eye is a fire alarm. The lever inside is hidden behind some glass, or I assume so because I can't see inside with it being completely shattered and not just the glass itself. The metal around it is dented in. It's like someone smashed it in with a sledgehammer. Someone really doesn't want us using the fire alarm. Lucas doesn't reply, and looking at him, he's got a forlorn expression on his face and a distant look in his eyes. I wonder what he's thinking about. It's clear he's not listening to me, though. I think this place is beginning to get to him. Well, get to him more. Come on, let's hurry up and find that office. A little bump to his shoulder shakes him from the daze he'd been in, the light returning to his eyes in a striking blaze. Oh, right. Sorry. I think I can see it just a bit further down. I was going to tell you, but I got distracted. Looking ahead, he's totally correct. It's a bit far, but it looks like there's a door. It's hard to tell from this distance and angle, but it seems to have a plaque on the front. It was really close. It really was close by. It's probably only only a minute or two away if we didn't take a break. Just walking through this furnace just makes every second feel like an hour. Lucas is tugging at his collar now, and he's scowling worse than usual. With how awful things are, it's hard to tell if he's just being fed up with all of the things or if something new is bothering him. Can I hold on to your arm again? Huh? Can I hold on to your arm again? It made me feel safer. He says it so plainly that I almost question my hearing, but I give him a nod and offer up my arm to him once more. Without hesitation, he wraps his arms around it, sliding himself against me. He's even closer than last time. Whoa! Sorry, too much? I'm not very good with boundaries. My mom always tells me that I'm really bad at it. You're fine. Oscar's much worse than you. Obviously, that meathead's completely unconcerned with how other people feel. It causes me to laugh. There's something ironic about Lucas saying that, but I would never tease him about it. I know it's something he's trying to get better at. His expression is scrunched up in confusion, and it only proves my point further. He's so pure he doesn't deserve to be in a place like this. What? I don't get it. Did I say something weird? You're fine. Let's get going. We gotta get you out of here. Please, this place fucking sucks. At the door, it becomes clear that this is indeed an office, as the plaque specifies so. Though it's so worn down, there's no way to tell whose this belonged to. Pushing itself, it's a lot smaller than I expected. Inside is only a desk, an office chair for someone to sit, and another smaller chair next to it. It's so small! It's just for the doctor to talk to kids or their parents. I don't think this is meant to be an examination room. 1 second, y'all. I need to drink some water. Alrighty. You know a lot about hospitals. Not hospitals. I've just been in a clinic similar to this. Lucas pulls away again and sits on the office chair. He's messing around with the computer on the desk, trying to get some kind of reaction out of it. Ultimately, he leans back on the chair with a sigh. His usually neutral scowl has finally turned into one of annoyance. No luck? Exceptionally bad luck. Either it's fried or there's no power running to it. Which isn't surprising because this place shouldn't even have fucking lights on, so maybe I shouldn't complain. There's a bunch of papers scattered on the desk, documents ranging from schedules to patient information, but nothing that looks like a map of the hospital. I don't think there's a map in here. I'll look through those. You probably just missed it. Go see if there's something in the drawers. Taking the pile of papers out of my hands, he begins flicking through them. Despite the large pile, he's ripping through them at an insane speed. There's no way he's actually reading them. Despite the rude words, the way he's acting is like a wave of relief. He's acting more like himself than ever. Just a more annoyed version of himself, but it's definitely pure Lucas. I actually prefer when he's being abrasive to that horrified look he had when he was stuck in that hole. It just makes me want to hug him and shelter him from all the evil in the world. I'm just glad he's doing better. Hope he's doing better. I can never quite tell with him. Following his orders, I open the doors and I'm caught off guard by what I see. It's a medical record, and not just for some random person, but for someone who I've come to know recently. It's for Helena. There's no way, right? It can't be that easy, can it? Snatching up the file like it's the first meal I've had in days, I look over to it to make sure it is for Helena Lawson. It's for the Helena Lawson that we know and not another person who just happens to have the same name. Yep, that's her. That's even a photo of her here. The young cougar at the beginning of her prime with her whole life ahead of her. Despite not smiling in this photo, she gives off a playful aura even through the image. She actually reminds me of Lucas, surprisingly enough. She's a little more elegant compared to his intimidating, but there's something about her poise that reminds me of him. Did you find something? Lucas has paused, looking through his pile of papers to give me a curious raise of his brow. If this revelation hasn't been so big, I might have been distracted by how cute he looked tilting his head to the side. It's Helena's medical record. I don't know why this is here, and it isn't so weird. Isn't it so weird we found it here? Why is it in a place like this? Now he just looks confused, but he shakes it off and returns back to his neutral glower, his attention returning down to the stack of paper. I don't think that helps us get out of here. It's pretty useless right now. That's true. I know he's right, but I can't help but press my ears against my head. It's such a strange find, and my curiosity is getting the better of me. He must have caught that as his entire body stands at attention. Not literally, he's still sitting, but it's like every fur on his body sticks out. Damn it, I didn't mean for it to come out like that. Sorry. He rubs a hand over his face, and he looks a lot more irritated than something this small warrants. It wasn't even that bad. It's okay, I know you mean nothing by it. It's just caught me off guard. You didn't hurt my feelings. It's not... Lucas, I know you're sweet and kind deep down. You won't hurt me with some jabs. I grew up with an older brother. I can take rude comments. He doesn't look satisfied with that answer, but it's the truth. There's been a lot harsher words said than someone just being a little blunt. Okay, I'll keep looking then. Let me know what you find. I give him a smile, and he returns it briefly, but it doesn't reach his eyes. I reach over and give his shoulder a squeeze, which he leans into. It's only for a moment, but I can feel him relaxing against my fingers. My fingies. With that resolved, I return my focus back on this medical report. There might be something here that can tell us something about what happened. Maybe a reason for why she did what she did. But in the end, it's just a normal medical report about a relatively normal high school girl. The only thing that catches my attention is her emergency contact. It's her mother. Which is to be expected, but it does bring something back to mind. What is Helena's relationship with her father? I'm gonna go ahead and pause it right here. Thank you all so much for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, ring that notification bell, leave a super thanks or a tip if you can. It always helps. Until the next video, I love you all. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.